video games. It has been around for quite a long time and has changed significantly. Looking back, the gaming history was long enough to be separated into different eras. I mean, we went from the first bunch of video games, only having black and white, to having RGB colors in 4K. The methods of video games has increased. Consoles, arcades, mobile phones, portable PCs. God, I want those. Video games used to be just gameplay. Now it's almost a basic need to be story-driven with cutscenes, from playing single players to playing in online, even on the other side of the world. Those are all amazing breakthroughs in gaming history. Some aren't even meant for games, but used in games, completely changing how games work, and it doesn't only stop there. And now, we have graphics, and graphics. Yeah, it is sort of weird, isn't it? Graphics are great, but nothing else is astonishingly new anymore. Like, the last console I was interested in was Nintendo Switch, but the technology that has been used on the Switch, the Joy-Cons to be exact, was not new at all. The Wii already has all of those, but the Switch was still one of my favorite consoles, not because of what kind of technology it has, but because of the ideas it was used on. In games like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, or even just Nintendo Switch. Whether a game is interesting or not overall is not based on the technology, only the creativity. Otherwise, there shouldn't be people starting to get tired of AAA games. We can always develop new ideas, but there's nothing new about the technology used by the common majority. Or maybe that's just coming to a limit for flat screen games technology. But still, some people just don't play games, especially PC games. They just don't like the idea of sitting still in front of a screen. So maybe on another platform, like VR. Just kidding, I just want to talk about Boneworks and Bonelab. So, when the Valve Index was released, if you have ever heard of VR, then you have definitely, probably heard of Boneworks. At that time, almost every discussion about VR was either the Valve Index, Half-Life Alyx, or Boneworks. And there were quite a lot of showcase videos before release, so it caught a bunch of people's attention. The game was hyped before and after it was released. There were many VR videos heavily focused on Boneworks. It was popular. Why it was so popular? Well, because it's fun, it has impressive physics to play around with, along with a new few things that have never been seen before. A full in-game body, so your hands actually stop when you're touching something instead of going through it. A new way to aim down sight, so you don't have to pretend and find the balance when aiming rifles, which is a lot that has never been seen before. But later, it can be seen everywhere. Coincidence? Probably not. But is that it? Is that why it was so hyped? Well, other than the reasons above, the other reason is Boneworks was a popular topic. Started by being one of the very first games that could use the Valve Index controllers for development. There were also a lot of popular creators making videos about it, like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Slimecicle, AB147. They're just only a few of them, so it became more and more popular. Perfect advertisement. Okay then, how's it fun? Well, first, there are videos better at explaining the game than I do. Go check it out if you are interested. So the first thing, one of the features of Boneworks is that everything is physics-based. You can pick up anything you see. A cup? Sure. A gun? Okay. A table? Why not? Anything. And items have weight. You can't lift the heavy ones without using both hands, and the swing is different from using both hands. Also, other than wood and glass, almost everything else is indestructible. As long as you feel they are possible, they are pretty much doable. And I mean anything. whatever you can think of. And having their full in-game body and 3-point aiming, everything combines into a nice match. In VR, who knew? Just throwing and piling stuff around could be so fun. But it isn't perfect. It's nowhere near perfect. The in-game body is just simulating a body for you. It is there, but you cannot control it. So when you are climbing, it becomes the classic body just hanging in the air situation. When you are just going around, there's a chance your body will get blocked or stuck on something. Using a weapon two-handed is always better than just one-handed, because using one hand will make long weapons fling around, making them not hit properly. The climbing itself is fine, except for the ladder level. It makes my leg hurt. Also, climbing up is the worst, since you can't use anything besides your hands. In other words, the body sometimes feels awkward. Perhaps that's why the dev decided to use shoulder holsters instead of the traditional hip holsters. A little bit more about the game design. In VR, we can grab and hold items in our hands, but the main difference from reality is that we don't get to control our fingers. I'm not talking about just fingers opening and closing. We can already do that using the Valve Index controllers. I mean grabbing between our fingers. We have fewer options in VR, like where we have to recycle our magazines. We can't do a tactical reload. All we can do is drop it on the floor and pick it up again afterward. So Boneworks has unlimited magazines and drops the magazines by touching it using another magazine. It works pretty well, although it sometimes drops due to accidents. Just a little thought about it. The guns feels nice. Melee on the other hand, the enemies in Boneworks only know to charge straight at the player no matter what. Weapons can be stabbed into enemy, but it may not be enough to kill, and they don't exactly cut. There were also times that melee attacks didn't work well because they have guns, but melee combat has always been a difficult problem in VR. Also, I hate the crab lab. Their version of the hell crabs, which are just baseball-sized metal spiders. On videos is fine, but in VR, don't expect me to ever go near those things, especially the massive ones. Jesus Christ. And then we have Bonelab. The physics changed a little bit, and there was some new stuff. Skeleton, shotgun, go-kart, which feel extremely nauseating by the way, keycard, and a helicopter. Melee feels a little bit better, and the guns feel a little bit weirder, but it is still better to just shoot. And just like Boneworks, there have been a few patches, and oh hey, new update. The gameplay of Bonelab is very similar to Boneworks. You can even say it's the same. You go through level after level, and then there were other game modes. There are some changes to the design, like some levels are more cinematic. Some levels need you to jump and climb around more, and the go-kart level was their attempt at VR hand controller driving. And of course, the biggest difference of Bonelab is the avatar changer. It does exactly what it sounds like, changing into a different avatar in real time. So in conclusion, it has better levels, a go-kart, and an avatar changer. Now, you may be thinking, that's it? Yeah, that's also what some people first thought when they first tried it, thinking it wasn't worth the price compared to Boneworks. The concept of Bonelab is to let modders create, using Bonelab as the base. Boneworks also has mods, but Bonelab makes it official with the mod.io thing. I wonder if they had the idea seeing how much mod Boneworks has, but if we are just talking about the base game, Bonelab does have less content than Boneworks. But back to Bonelab. The game's main focus is, again, the avatar changer. You can be any preset avatar with a different height, size, weight, speed, and strength. It's an interesting concept. I mean, we do have games like Gmod and Prototype. Both games can change avatars, but they are not as functional as Bonelab. Gmod avatars are just for visual change, and Prototype is for story purposes and disguise. The avatars that Bonelab provided are more specialized in their separate ways. For example, the fast avatar can move very fast, the heavy avatar can lift heavy stuff easily, and the tall avatar is very tall. But the most interesting thing is at the last few levels, where I can change into different avatars at any time to suit my situations. If I want to go fast to get through as fast as possible, of course, I will change into the fast avatar. If I want to crawl inside the vent or bypass the turret, I will choose the short avatar. If I need to press a button or grab stuff down on the ceiling, it will be the tall avatar. Or I need to get through this gate, but there's this pile of I can't go through, so I changed that into the tall avatar to climb the gate, but me too big, can't climb through the gate. Now I'm just hanging there. Guess what I can do? I can change into the fast avatar while I'm hanging on the gate. Now I'm small enough to climb on the gate and fast enough to jump past the wall. Isn't it great? Only when it worked. Well, you see, the heavier avatar is strong and tanky, but the arms are too big to wield any firearm. The short avatar can go through small spaces, but is slow and makes everything too big for you. Even for handgun, the light avatar is for the go-kart. Besides that, it is completely useless.
Stick around long at the nice price. Hey, there you are, finally. Hey, mind giving her a push?
It has its problems, sure. Maybe because there are not enough levels to have chances to use the avatar changer, or having multiple avatars make things way too complicated. But I think having stats in character can be used in some ways. Maybe it can be a leveling system where you will slowly become stronger and quicker, or something like that, as strength can be felt in real, or to be more exact, just like in Boneworks and Bonelab. Anyway, I'm just sharing some thoughts after playing. Both games are pretty cool. And I believe the year Boneworks was released was also the year when people find out Duel sucks. Okay, that's it.